New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and serves on the Banking and Finance Committees as well. So what do you want to hear on China tonight? Let me play, first of all, what the president said on the South Lawn when he was asked, will this hurt or change U.S.-Chinese relations? Let's watch.
Does the balloon weaken U.S.-Chinese relations?
No. We've made it clear to China what we're going to do. They understand our position. We're not going to back off. We did the right thing. And there's not a question of weakening or strengthening. It's just the reality.
So, Senator, how can this not weaken relations when we've already postponed a very important trip that Secretary Blinken was to take last weekend?
Well, Andrea, look, this was a brazen and unequivocal violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law by a country that supposedly claims to be a responsible actor. And I think that the administration has acted correctly, with strength, by suspending Secretary Blinken's visit to China, by the president downing the balloon in accordance with how his military said he should, getting off the coast of the country, being able to collect all of the debris and material for intelligence analysis, and by sending a very resolute message. And either this was a huge mistake by some entity of the Chinese Communist Party, or if it was a test by Xi Jinping, he has a very clear answer. There was bipartisan uproar over the invasion of U.S. sovereignty. The president took military action against the balloon. The Secretary of State canceled his visit. So if it was more than a surveillance balloon, if it was a trial balloon, he got his answer. And that, I think, is the way you have to deal with Xi Jinping, out of strength. So I do think that we can continue to move forward, but I think we move forward from a position of strength.
Well, let's talk about the economy, which is going to be a big argument tonight. The debate over raising the debt ceiling, that's going to be a major factor. The president's not getting credit for the improvement in the economy, according to the polls. How does he handle the Republicans?
Well, first of all, I think the president, as he legitimately touts, this president has created more jobs than the last 4 presidents combined, over 12 million jobs. Unemployment is at an all-time low, but he must show empathy and understanding of the challenges American families have and paint a picture of how what he's done and what he seeks to do will help them overcome their challenges and provide for a brighter day. And as it relates to Republicans, you know, he can challenge them. Do you want conflict or do you want progress? Do you want investigations or investments in the future of the American people? Do you want to be mired in the past or look forward to a brighter future? And I think there are so many ways to do that. Certainly a 30% sales tax on the American people as they are buying everything across the spectrum, from clothing for their children, food on the table, and meeting the other challenges, isn't a way to ultimately meet the challenges of the American public. So I think that as he talks, for example, the Inflation Reduction Act, that'll create over 100,000 high-paying jobs while improving our environment, the provisions that I offered that will cap out-of-pocket expenses for seniors and make sure that no senior pays more than $35 for insulin, and how we are more competitive as a result of the CHIPS and Science Act, and have a supply chain where we never have to worry again about what happened to us during the pandemic. And this president did a fantastic job coming into a once-in-a-century pandemic. As he lays out those things, he has to also show that he understands there's still a challenge. There is more that we must do, including on gun violence in our country, which is when I return today to Washington, I'll be introducing my legislation to limit high-capacity magazines, which are all about high-capacity killing.
That's a big agenda. Senator Bob Menendez, thank you very much. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.